They're saying I'm insane.
It gives me a chance to really be like real integral, you know.
What's going on, everybody?
Shake it.
There we go. This is Isaac, and we are here. Another episode, Two Guitars and a Mic. What's up?
Technical difficulties.
Oh yeah, a little bit. That's why I say we need to have a day to we can figure out how to use my board. There you go, right there, brother. But it's just that's how you learn. But you know. Playing music is always going to be a little bit of difficulties whenever you start. How many times have we gone to gigs and was like, oh hell, the cable's out, or some, or there's been some lazy musician that's had a crackling cable for a long time, finally gave out.
I like these guys that throw their gear in the back of the truck without putting it in a case for as long as it'll last a couple months, a couple of years maybe, and they're like, man, I need a good amp. I'm like, you need a good road case.
Yeah. You can set that up for you, see when you can talk closer to the microphone. You can set it up for you. By the way, folks.
I try not to move these without.
No, you're good, brother. No, you get set it up for yourself.
I need better posture, don't I?
No, you're good, brother. I'm going to chill out, too. By the way, folks, my two co-hosts are not here today, so I decided to call a couple of badass musicians. One of them I was already going to holler at anyway. That's my boy over there in the corner, Mr. Memo Rincon.
In the Rincon.
Great bass player. Plays for what's the name of the band? What?
Mike Gonzalez, Iconics.
Iconics.
Oh, that's a good one.
And the great Rodney Pyeatt.
Hey.
Played for many big bands, but right now he's doing the Rodney Pyeatt thing. Is that what you're doing
I'll
now,
do
brother?
whatever, man.
Is that?
I'll do whatever. How much?
Let's. Well, I tell you what. Last we were talking, or at least on the internet, because that's how at least I talk to most people these days. I saw you were having hand surgery.
Yeah.
Tell me about that, brother.
You want to see it, or you want to talk about it?
Oh hell, I'm kind of. Oh wow.
Hey,
you know what?
You tell them what's going on here.
Okay. Wow. Well, no, they're watching right now. They're watching. Wow, brother. Is that it?
They're watching me?
Yeah, they're watching.
Oh my God, I better.
But
that's all I got, folks.
Wow, brother.
So what would you call that? 10, 15%?
Yeah,
10%?
man. Yeah.
Well, you know, what do you do with your?
What happened?
You need that finger, but
you can't even do any carpentry like that because everything's at a 90-degree angle. Even a 45 would be very hard to get.
Man, I'll never cut wood again. Because, you know what I'm saying?
But seriously, brother. So how is that even possible? Because like
to do that.
That can mean like your index fingers. You're playing your open chords.
I tell the version that I want to tell, or the version that really happened.
Do you want to hear the truth or a lie?
They're wildly different. Well, it doesn't have to be true if we can authenticate it. Come on, man. All we need is just one witness. No, it wasn't. I told everybody that it was three guys, three big dudes with a couple of bats that did a home invasion, but you can tell by my lovely face that that's not the case. It's even worse. I fell asleep. It's even dumber. I fell asleep real early one night, which I don't do. And I woke up about 4:30, and I'm like, man, I've been asleep for like 7 hours. That's great.
Right.
I'll maybe go get some coffee and see if I want to come back to bed. You know.
Talk closer to the mic.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I awake, or am I?
Yes.
Gonna go back to bed or what? And when I got up, earlier in that day, I'd been working on guitars. I do
like setup
vinyl.
Oh, wow.
So I could make any guitar look like that guitar if I just took a picture of some. If I took a picture of some wood, with really a bunch of pixels and condensed it down to, I could make it look. You'd want to, if you did nickel plate or something like that, you'd want to reach out and touch it.
Wow, brother.
It's so real in 3D. So I was doing that to a guitar, or was going to try to do that to a guitar, and put everything away. And about 4 o'clock that afternoon, I just missed my edge-end knife. And an edge-end knife is what those guys use on vinyl for cars, and I was doing it because they're sharp, man, and they just get where you want them.
Almost like a surgical knife, right?
Pardon?
Almost like a surgical knife?
It's as sharp. Well, I don't know if that's crazy. It's
Yeah.
to me it is. What's the difference once it goes through the tendons?
Oh.
And so they went through 2 tendons, and so went through the therapy. Was a trooper. I was like rah, and all that. I'm on
So
face this, like,
did you go to the emergency room right away? Hopefully.
no, because the ambulance people convinced me that it was gonna be fine when the swelling went down. I was like nah, and so I went within a couple of hours.
Wow.
Because the whole time it's retracting. I don't know at what speed or whatever, but it's retracting. So
Yes.
you don't want to wait too long. But what I understand, well, there's a lot of information that I learned during that process. But a tendon is supposed to heal at 12 weeks. And my family, I'll get kind of deep into the situation. My family's had this endocrine condition that I had. All of us have had. We've all had these surgeries. Like I feel like I'm in my 30s, other than a few little things,
Right.
I mean, I feel great. I'm 58, so I feel better than I did at 38, really, honestly.
Wow, brother.
I think
That's
my whole
amazing.
family's better than we were because we discovered the problem. It was a mutated gene. It was in all of us. My dad gave it to us, but he doesn't suffer from it. He has the mutated gene and no symptoms
Wow,
other
brother.
than high calcium. But he has no body pain either. Like
Which is unusual for an older person because I get them all the time.
I'm telling you, dude. Now he's stove up because of the stroke and age, but
You said,
lack of movement. Anyway, so the hand thing. Tendon is supposed to heal at 12 weeks. And the morning of the 12th week, I was going to, like go work out after they cleared me, not too much, just get back into it, And I did a routine block on this finger, a routine movement, and the stitches came out of one. I read the doctor's report. The stitches came out of the bottom of one of the tendons, and the other one just snapped.
oh my God.
And it did not hurt. It felt wonderful because the nerve wasn't grown back together yet.
Oh, right.
And it didn't break a nerve. It just released all that pressure. I was like, oh my God, that feels so great. For the first time in I don't know, it's like a 3-month, 100-day process or something.
Right,
I
right.
think, anyway, of rehab.
Right.
They were giving me intense rehab because of my occupation, occupational therapy.
Right.
So, which is more intense than a lot. And so anyway, make the story short if I can. It snapped. They could only save one tendon. So I don't know if it's the scarring that won't let it move. That's what my therapist said, and I trust her. Or if it could be the tendon is just not going to stretch. I feel like maybe some surgery to get that scar out would maybe help me, but then you create a new scar.
How's
Much more rehab, dude.
do you have arthritis on your knuckles?
My hands don't hurt at all, but they've hurt for years and years until I got rid of this endocrine condition.
Really, brother?
I take some pretty
that's
strong.
amazing, brother.
I take gout medicine every day. I take high blood pressure medicine every day.
Was it a high?
I take.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
No.
interrupt you, Chris.
Ah!
No. Well, is it a high calcium?
Yeah,
disease?
hypercalcemia. And like what I've read about is, it would typically be maybe a postmenopausal woman or late 50s or 60s with a bunch of gout. Or,
Right.
they don't typically get gout like men do, but they do. And a man that's anyone dying, anyone in the with a terminal illness is going to have it. Maybe.
Wow, brother.
As you could probably, I don't know this. I'm going to ask a doctor, an endocrinologist, but it seems to me like you could if the phosphorus drops as a person gets sicker and sicker with a terminal illness, seems like they would know about when they're going to die. Because when the phosphorus leaves the, carbon-based life form or
Right.
whatever, it's gonna die. So.
So how'd you figure out? Whoever figured out that that's exactly what it was?
A lot of people at Scott White Hospital, because they said, okay, here's the thing. Well, we're gonna make this very affordable for you, but you have to come every time, and it was like a job.
Okay.
I mean, I went like 200 times to the doctor, and I'm not. There's no.
Wow.
There's no. I mean, if I left my phone in the car. They have this thing called My Charts, and I'm not exaggerating. No,
That's a
hyperbole.
commitment.
I mean, I was going like
Right
sometimes
there.
3 times a day to different doctors. I went over and over and over. They tried to figure out everything to make sure I didn't have. Because one day I showed up and had this big lump in my lung,
Wow, brother.
and then they scheduled. That was like in June,
Did
July. when I
did you
found
feel
out.
it, or is that something they found?
Dude, I was exercising. I was riding a bike every day. I'd lost like 35 pounds or 37 pounds. You know,
Wow,
all
bro.
feeling good for my age. You know,
Right.
and I just try to stay healthy. I eat like a horse, you know.
Okay.
But I'm active. So anyway,
Right.
make a story short, man, they just kind of the whole process of being sick and getting better has just been a long journey, and you know you learn a lot from it. But
Well,
I'm not gonna get into too many details
but
other
still,
than to say
well,
I feel great,
Brother, that's
And
awesome.
I have one
That's
more
a
thing. I got
blessing,
this
brother.
Big fit, you can't see it. I have a fist-sized lipoma that they're gonna take at some point, and then after that, I'm gonna find out how many 60-year-old men want to get in the octagon.
There you go, brother.
Hey, you never
I know some guys.
If
I
any
know,
do, I'm not gonna have anything to do
I know
with
some
it.
guys that'll put you
Badass.
in the right direction. I know some guys that'll put you in
But
the
I
right.
do. I feel good, man. I get pissed off when I look in the mirror anymore. But
Dude, kick
Never
that
was all that great
dude.
looking,
The fact
you
that
know?
you're feeling good, that's a
Feel
blessing.
great,
Let me
dude.
take you that. I'm on the road to trying to do that myself, dude, and it's hard, dude.
it is.
It's hard. It's hard knowing that, you know, I was an athlete at one time, and then I was now, like, I'm 50 years old. It's like, well, dude, you know what? It's only in your mind, but then you start doing stuff like, damn, my body's breaking down.
How old are you now?
51, brother.
You made it.
Yes.
I
Thank
thought,
God, thank God I
for
did.
sure I was gonna be in that 27 club. It wasn't that I needed to be famous. I just I got a divorce about 26, and I'd been married 9
Ah.
years. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do all the stuff I didn't do as a teenager, and I did. It nearly killed me, but.
What
If
was
you knew me back then, you probably still think I'm crazy, but I'm totally,
Say,
you know.
This is Rodney, right here, brother. And I love the way you're happy, brother.
You
Kick
look great,
ass.
bro, by the way. Don't you think you look
Yeah,
great?
he does, man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you look really good.
Thank you, brother. It's you know what I did, and it's crazy. The doctor's been telling me, and I say okay, and then, so I said, you know what, I'm gonna really do it, and I just with my one soda a week, like a real soda, and no bread unless it's keto bread, and that was all it was, just cutting off the basically kind of like keto.
carbs.
Yeah, kind of like carbs because I'm diabetic. I really got to watch that, and then just my body started changing like by itself. It's great. Well, I just been doing what I was just supposed to do, but really taking it serious.
Yeah.
The second thing is exercising.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I used to love exercising. For some reason, I'm in a rut. And I built me a gym right there because I still hit the heavy bag. I've always hit the heavy bag, something I love to do. But as far as like lifting, I haven't, and I got the puny arms to prove it. But God willing, that's my next goal. Now that I'm dropping the weight to start
At
start
our
putting
age,
the
though, we have to
muscle
eat
on.
a lot of protein, a whole lot of
Yes,
protein.
yeah, I do. I eat protein all the time, and
what
I
is
got
it,
the
like,
farts
at
to
age
prove it too.
42 or 3, I don't remember, somewhere in there, man, might even be in the 30s, you start losing 6% of your current muscle every year.
Oh my gosh,
Dude, that's huge.
that is, brother. You need that. You need
That's
that.
why
if
men, like,
you need that. If we're still performing on stage. I know you guys are starting. You know what? What was gig number one like, real quick? Gig number one back from surgery.
Oh, it wasn't a gig. I was playing with this. I've been playing acoustics because parts of it were real sensitive, still are, but other parts real tender.
Right.
So I thought I've got to learn on an acoustic because even though I won't be bending the strings and stuff, which that was a weird learning
But there was
process.
one at Papa Joe's though.
Yeah, the damn Moore boys were out there, and then he was like, man, Tommy was like, man, you wanna play? I was like, hell no. And then the next week I went out there, or 2 weeks later they were out there, and I was like, all right, it doesn't hurt anymore. I've made up my mind. And he has 12s on his guitar, man.
Oh
And then I
my
was
God,
like, yes,
are you kidding
'cause I have 12 on my
me?
acoustic,
You
dude.
kidding
I'm
me,
like,
dude?
Woo, I was like, I probably won't ever play that good again. No,
But-
I didn't play that good, but it was fun. I played with feeling. Here's what I've learned, because I don't know if you knew about my big mad fit I had. You know, bless Chris Lemoyne and his staff at the Texas Music Cafe. He's
for
always
sure.
shown me a lot of
The
professional.
original OGs for podcasting.
Oh,
for
he
sure.
is a complete OG of Waco.
Yes.
Listen,
Yes.
he's the grand OG. Look, he's always shown me deference in my career, my music, and he gave me the final hour of the grand finale of the whole season, and I'm so flattered I can't see straight, and I just didn't do the job. I didn't take the right guys.
Got you.
My son was great. He was prepared.
Right.
My drummer, well, Ronnie, he wasn't. He was new, but you know what? You don't have to worry about Rug. He's gonna.
Yep.
Ronnie Griffin's gonna go out there and do a
He's gonna do
fantastic
yes
job.
for
He's
sure.
an enlightened musician. That's why he's the first of our, like MACT, Central Texas. He's in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, really?
His first inductee.
Kick ass.
so-
He deserves. I mean,
Yeah, he's the
I've
first one.
done only a handful of gigs with him, but I love the dude. And like I said, he's a real road dog. Like
Oh yeah.
a road dog. And if you don't believe me, just talk to him, because I'm gonna tell you.
You want that way?
I love him. I love
But
him.
he saved it. He saved it. I said, Ronnie, what do you think? What's up? He said, well, I think I'll go out there and get I got my cajon. I
Right.
was like, you go get your cajon, and it was weird when I left the house. I was like, I never do this on an electric gig, but I took my acoustic. I was like, I don't know why. I might do a 20-minute set with acoustic, and I don't know. I didn't know what was going to happen,
Right. Right.
And the way Chris is, the way he was, even just at Barrel Saturday, I played the 5 o'clock slot for their
Really?
festival, for the Mac
Awesome,
festival.
brother.
And he's like, I'm done. He's like, dude, just keep going. You're the last one. Nobody cares when you stop. I'm like, and they were enjoying it. It was fun.
Awesome, brother. So man, how was the I guess the word is transition, or now it's how'd you figure? I mean, you know, I don't know how to put it to words, but you know what I'm asking.
Well, I mean, also, here's something crazy. Because I was having to lean on, I'm a caretaker to a certain degree. My dad's 88. Needs a little bit of attention every day. Cooking.
For sure, brother.
And I run the studio. I
That's
have a
awesome.
studio.
God bless you for doing that, brother.
Well, yeah, I mean, I love him to death. He's a mess,
sure,
but
brother.
he's a go-getter, man. I'd like to be like him someday.
Awesome, brother.
But he, where was I going with that? We had a lot going on right now. I've got the
Right.
studio, I'm playing, I'm getting back. And you were trying to find out, I think, what the transition was like, and I don't know how to describe it. I think it was scary as hell.
I can
Fun
see
as hell.
that,
Now it's
dude.
just work. Now listen,
I
I'm gonna
mean,
say
that
this.
is a major. I mean, you know this.
Oh,
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything that you haven't thought, but that is a major weapon in your arsenal. Your index finger.
Yeah, to cut 2 tendons is debilitating. Here's the thing, man. I played football 8 years. I've had my fingers smashed up before.
For sure, we
I
have.
worked
It
construction. I was an
sucks.
iron worker. I've had my fingers smashed up. Did every. I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. But, or have been. It doesn't seem like it because people that know me for the last 30 years don't know that about my first 30 years.
Right.
So, like a lot of musicians,
Right.
So-
True that,
So I
brother.
guess my point is, it's just a process where it's gonna say. I'm not looking for sympathy or trying to be a victim here, because
Right.
I'm not. I feel like a go-getter to a certain degree, much as I can be. But it's not as fun as it was. It's work, but I'm doing a lot of things that aren't as fun as they were.
Dude.
That I'm very blessed to be able to do because it's music. And the way I am is I'd rather do music in an environment like this, 8, 10, 12, 14 hours a day
Yep,
than
yep.
drive, 5 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, 30 hours.
That is my same exact story.
23-hour day and only play 90 minutes.
That's my same.
Unless it's really good money.
I love to perform, but there's a few places like the backyard.
But
I
that's
love.
who makes the least money, the players.
Yeah, for sure.
The damn people writing the articles make more. The people doing podcasts make more.
True that. I hear
Crazy.
you, brother.
The
But-
musicians are still making 1980s, 1990s.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you. It's horrible that we're the only ones that haven't got the cost of living increased.
How's it like? How's the Hamilton doing right now as far as gigging? I'm sorry about that, Rod.
Well,
as far as gigging, is it? I know like he just said the '90s. Is it? And it's not like the '90s anymore. But is it still enough to like to? Are y'all
Well-
moving a lot or?
Well, this year with the band that I'm playing with, we're probably going to do 65 shows this year.
That's ample. That's enough.
Which is,
I mean, that's good.
Which is good. I mean, it's a lot. for me.
That's at least like one and a half a week.
They're like
Yeah.
7 hours from you, right?
Yeah, last Friday
Yes.
we played in Alamo, Texas. So it's like 7 hours.
Never heard of it. What the hell is that?
That's
We
what it's away.
yeah, like right up ahead of Edinburgh.
Okay, got
You know?
you. Yes,
And so we, we played. We did one set, an hour and a half. We finished up, I think, at 2. And by the time we got paid, 2:30, got on the road. I didn't get him back to Waco till 10 in the morning.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
like
Could
you
you
said,
tag
going
them,
far.
Rodney Pyeatt, Memo, Rincon on Facebook? Could you tag him for me, brother?
I've been doing those gigs here with the, I guess, I started right before the pandemic doing that, and then the pandemic kind of, we had about a 9-month lay, where we didn't do anything, and then it picked right back up, and we've been busy.
Yeah.
And the band, we don't do door gigs. We don't do a lot of door gigs. It's all guaranteed stuff. So I can't complain, man. I mean,
For
How many
sure,
pieces
brother.
are you?
what?
How many pieces are you?
7. We have
Big
2
band, bro.
singers and 5 musicians. So.
What did the whole coronavirus world shutting down? What did that do? That I know, of course, we know we didn't play, but was that a big hit, or did you need the time off? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't mind the time off. I didn't mind the chill time. Now I'm not playing that much because of that. I got used to it, but I want that. But here's the deal, though. It sounds so selfish, but it doesn't, because I've been, same story as all of us. I've been, started high school bands. Once I was 18, I was gigging.
Mm-hmm.
All right? We're doing all now. I'm 51, like I said a while ago. And that sounds so selfish, but dude, now I get to chill with my wife. I'm a big
That's
fight
not
fan.
selfish at
I
all,
miss
yeah.
so many fights. I know it sounds, just for fights. But you know what, dude? I mean, there's a lot of times I wish I could have been there with the guys watching the fights, or just and now I've been enjoying this, and that's how like I said, it's not selfish being with Mom. You're right. Now she gets so much of my attention. We're together all the time, and our relationship is even better now than what it's been in a long time.
Yeah.
Because I know it sounds crazy because Corona did that, but it kind of did. Now the gigging, as far as gigging, I'm not like you guys to where I haven't played like a long ways in about maybe 10 years. I stay here in Central Texas. What I'm saying is like now there's only so many places to where I can play. So I'm not playing a lot, but it's fine with me. I mean, I'm picking the places that I do want to play at. I'm not going to play in any bars where there's all kinds of smoke. I mean, I'm not being all bougie. It's just I've done that before. I've already
been
done
there,
that
done
before.
that.
True that.
That's where I'm at, man. Someone said, "Would you
don't want to come home
take a
smelling
tour?"
like
And I'm like,
smoke.
"Man, I
Well,
don't
not
know."
that. It's the atmosphere. I mean, I'm done. I've done that. But stop
Well,
with
just
that right
being in like being on a bus, being enclosed. I'm hot, dude. I am truly claustrophobic.
Oh,
Right?
me too,
Like,
brother.
So
yes,
like in the
yes.
studio, you're supposed to rest your ears. I do that pretty good.
Oh, okay,
And
got
I'll
you.
go out in front, just walk around for 2 minutes and come back.
Okay.
Or whatever. But I guess what I'm saying is the whole bouginess. You got to have self-care.
Yes.
No one else is gonna do that.
Yes, I'm telling you, and I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be with the guy. Me and the guy that has a wife. We've been together going on 27 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm not bragging. What I'm saying is, I know it's a rarity.
It is.
So
It
now
really
I'm
is.
really cherishing. It's like now I'm really cherishing life. I'm getting healthy now. Yeah, I did a bunch of bad things to get unhealthy. So what? I had fun doing it. But now I got to.
These people that go, man, I don't have any regrets. I'm like, then you didn't have as much fun as I did.
Yeah, do that. But here's the deal. But now I know. You know what, dude? I'm 50 now. Time to take care of eyes. Like really take care of eyes. Well, I always did. I was always. I mean, I let myself get fat a few times to where I was like real fat. But I was always an active dude playing. I even played semi-pro ball till I was like 24 years old. So whatever. But anyway.
That's awesome.
But so I didn't mean to talk about it in the tantrum. But anyway,
I hated
that
I hated
was
the COVID thing. It tore me
yeah.
up. But if I had, you had to do something, right? And
What were
I'd
you doing?
Already gone into the studio and kind of made that affiliation. So, I would love to sit with you guys and learn some of this audio stuff because that's what I'm doing now. And
For
if
sure,
I have
brother.
my
I'd love to
brothers,
talk.
if I get to where I don't have to rely on live music at all, even for a supplement, I'm gonna be so hard to get on stage. Because I love the studio, man. I
Man,
get to play.
I'm telling
yeah.
you.
I mean, I like it when I get to play. I don't like it when people come in and go, "Hey, I want to do it all myself." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
I know.
You know, I want to get that. I want to get
I
that.
love to create.
Oh, I love. But here's the thing: I'm into the like. If you come in now and you go, "Hey, man," if a kid comes in and says, "I got $350 or $250," just give me some time because I only do 5-hour blocks only, right?
Gotcha.
'Cause it's not
That's
worth
ample.
it.
Yes.
I'm not turning on the lights for less than 5 hours. You
Dude,
know? So
I hear
kid
you,
comes in,
brother.
I got 4 hours. It's cash. I'm gonna go. Okay, I'll give you an hour worth of editing. I can write beats.
That's
I
right,
can
there you
write
go.
An orchestra behind your. I
Right,
learned
right.
All that. That's what COVID's done for me. So I can't complain about my new frontier, but I'd sure like to sit with you. And,
Heck yeah, man.
Where's your studio at, brother?
man, it's at 2116 West Adams. It's like, if you know Temple, when you turn west on Adams, like 2305, right?
Is that by where the old Heart of Texas was? Close? No, not close.
Texas.
Heart of Texas Music?
Oh, no.
No, that was 31st Street. So I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, that was 31st Street. So if you were going to take that exit
Yeah, Adams
on
Street.
Adams and you went west, it splits right there, and the right is Airport Road,
Okay.
53 or 36, whatever. And the left is Adams. It goes out to the lake. Well, there's a business right there in the split, Maribel's Flowers.
Okay.
Maribel, you owe me. And then right after that, there's another parking lot. We're in that shopping center.
How did that come about? You getting the studio and all that stuff like that? I mean, how did the idea come about, or what's?
Well, I needed something to do, man. I mean, I'm a caretaker, but that's fundamental that I do that. But
Yes.
At least in my mind, that's the way I see my life. And it's also fundamental that I work, And it's fundamental that I do music, and I got really lucky to be able to, because I could go tour with people, People call me for tours, it's just not serious about what my needs are. I don't want to go play for a day wage. I want to go play for a living day wage. I want
There
to
you
live
go,
like a king,
brother,
or I don't
getting
want to
out.
do it, man. Because when I go in the studio, as long as my studio's real dirty right now, but as long as it's clean, I feel like a king, man.
Yes.
It's nice and cool.
Dude, I can be
Barley
here.
pan dog. It's gonna probably stay that way.
I can be here, and my wife will just say, "Well, are you gonna be in there tonight?" Because she'll just go to bed without me. It's like, yeah, I mean, but I love it. What can I say? I love creating, and I'm doing. I mean, since I built this bitch, I've been creating.
A lot of
I
musicians'
love it.
wives go
You've
to
been creating
bed
and upgrading.
alone.
Yeah, and upgrade. But
Hope.
but I love it. Memo, how about you? You been in the studio since the whole COVID thing too, or?
Yeah. Well, the COVID, I was with Jay. I was playing with Jay Pettis then when the COVID happened, and then so I was kind of bummed because I wanted to
I
play.
know Jay
but
Pettis. That's Jay. I mean, the voice.
the
Come on,
boys,
dude.
yeah.
Bro.
So, but that whole COVID thing, it's like I think back and I'm like, that really did happen. It seemed like it didn't happen.
I know.
Wasn't
It
that
was weird.
crazy?
It was
Wasn't
weird.
that crazy
There's only
that there were grocery stores with no food and people had
Yeah.
masks on? Wasn't that
After
crazy?
midnight, Walmart was 24. You could always walk into Walmart
Yeah.
at 2 in the morning.
Wasn't that wild though? It's like, am I living this
And
movie?
at Walmart, they actually had a sign. If you're above a certain age, you can get here an hour early to go shopping
Oh yeah.
Wow.
before everyone else, and then leave, and then we'll open the doors for everyone else.
Yeah. So it was weird when they started getting gigs.
Right,
We would have
right.
to go and use our masks.
Were you
and-
scared?
You know what? Yes, I really was. I was scared.
There
I
was-
you know.
believe it, brother.
There were some bars
So was I.
I mean-
offering more money to get bands so they
Yeah.
can get people in.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
dude. I remember those days. I mean, people were offering good money, dude. It's like I wouldn't do it.
But shoot, it picked up. Like 9 months later, it was right back to we were playing a bunch already.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Remember before they started playing in venues? Remember they were doing that thing to where I forgot what people were listening to it in the car or still doing. What was Intocable doing? Remember?
No, I don't remember that, but I know that Chris told me, Chris Rivera, that the Tex Maniacs, that they would send they would record it like a video and then they would play it for people. So
Oh,
they wouldn't
smart,
be
yeah.
they wouldn't be there. They would pre-record it.
Okay,
And then-
okay.
and
But
then
would
play
that
it there.
count as a paid gig though?
I don't know.
I
I know
don't know,
they're in the studio
We'll
right
send you
now.
our video for our price or
Yeah.
half our price or whatever.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to travel. Your overhead's different. But I want that day rate, man.
I know there were comedians that were doing. They had two ideas because I love comedy. There was some comedians that were doing Zoom comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was just
What kind?
Zoom, like
Zoom.
through
Like
the app.
Skype. Yeah.
Like,
Oh, dude,
and
on
I heard
Skype?
it was a dud. Of course
Yeah.
it's a dud. I mean, he's not hearing the people laughing.
Yeah.
These people are in their bedrooms, like, but there's nobody else is laughing around them. And
He's
they're-
like, where's the energy?
There's no and
And you have to mute everybody or else everybody talks.
what Dave Chappelle did, he has a huge backyard, so he had limited seating. People
I heard about that.
were spaced
There's
out. He was having shows in his backyard, but that's why he's the
There's
greatest.
another comedian.
He is.
He's
Yeah.
the badass.
Yeah, there's another
best.
comedian, Jeff Dunham.
He is.
He
I
had
agree.
a show. Yeah, there's another comedian, Jeff Dunham. He had a show with the limited seat, but everybody was so spread out that it looked pretty big. It just, I think he said there's only maybe 200
Well,
people.
Didn't Adele do something? And they were kind of separated. They didn't have. Maybe they had masks, but it was like only stars were there.
Yeah,
At
because
that
they go
big-
there and form.
Lame, I guess. I guess that's cool. But that's
Well,
lame.
Well, you
They
know.
had an idea of having a concert. Remember the old WWF where the wrestlers would come
Oh,
out?
that was.
Yeah, they had a concert like that, but only a certain.
They're
people could
like
be there.
pictures of people's heads.
Yeah,
Oh, in the
They were
state.
doing that
and
in
the
baseball
crowd.
too.
yeah, on the
Yeah.
ground. And it's like Andre the Giant used to come out. That's what they had him on. So they had like maybe
Johnny.
10 people in one of these and another 10 people in one of those, and they had a concert like that. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
that's something to see.
that was a
Well,
catastrophe. I'm glad that
because
stuff
they
is
packed
over
more
with.
people into the thing, and everybody got sick more. It's
Well,
like,
you
wow.
know that the Tejano Music Awards, they had a virtual thing. They did it all live. So with Jay, they had me record myself playing the song. I mean, I wasn't playing it for real.
Right.
Like acting like I'm playing, and then they put a video together, of the band, and they played that on there.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, you know what? But here's the deal. Here's the deal, though. Desperate times call for desperate situations. They had to, you had to make money. Even the Tejano Music Association, they thrive off people's money.
Is it still alive,
I mean,
though? Is it, we had...
Tejano,
Yeah, it's still alive.
it's alive. It's just
Man,
it's,
Because
it's,
San Antonio, my uncle went to San Antonio to go to a funeral.
It's
and
never
he knows the station. He knows it by heart. I even know the station by heart.
well, here's the deal.
And it's gone. The station's completely gone.
Here's the deal
Yeah.
about Tejano. It's gonna be alive because people love it. And here's the deal. But another thing, the generation of people like the kids like in Tejano, those guys are 40 years old right now.
My age.
Their kids don't listen to Tejano.
Yeah.
And
No,
that's
they're
what
listening
and,
to something more
and so-
rootsy,
and,
actually.
and that's where
I'm part-
that's where it dies right
Yeah,
there.
I'm part of the last generation that actually listened to the Hano.
Well, country's like that too, man. There's no country.
I agree. It's not.
Nothing
It's,
on radio sounds like
it's,
country.
there's a
It's
few.
not the
There's
other, than
different-
that, other than that dialect,
yeah, that's it. They're,
And sometimes they fake the dialect. They
of
fake it.
course. It's
Well,
just,
hell yeah,
it's-
they do. You think Gary Allen sounds like that?
It's
He's from
a
Southern California. He's
it's a
awesome, by the
production.
way.
It's a production. That's what it is.
But
It
but
is.
you know what I will say, Jay always had a crowd.
Oh, for sure. He's
Ram Herrera always had,
Yep.
and I played with them. And
What about
they-
Joe?
Joe.
Now,
You
Joe-
kidding me?
Little Joe.
Oh, I don't know about Little Joe, but Joe Lopez.
You
I
kidding
mean,
me, dude? I
he
mean,
was in Monterrey,
Yeah.
The-
and,
the
and they
name-
had like 30,000 people there.
the name of Joe Lopez alone
Yeah.
is gonna bring people. I mean, he is who he is.
Mm-hmm.
That dude just what can I say about that dude? I mean, his whole story is crazy too.
Yeah, it is
but
crazy.
his voice, something about his voice is just
Well,
perfect.
You know what? I think it goes even deeper than that. Mas,
The songs,
that whole
yes,
sound and those
everything.
songs of Mas.
Two
Because we
keyboard
play
players.
that
Horns.
stuff, and as soon as we start playing, the dance floor is packed.
Oh yeah.
People
I
love
believe
that
it.
stuff. I mean,
I
they do. They love. There was
think
something about that sound.
You're saying you feel like I got to get in on this. I don't
Yeah,
have as
yeah.
much
No, that-
experience with it.
You
but-
can have an 80-year-old woman.
So you're saying to me that you feel like the people younger than you, a little bit younger, the next generation.
Oh,
That
even yeah, I'm gonna say Gabriel.
Polka's gonna die with them,
no,
or is it
yeah,
the
those gonna die with
Tejano
me.
sound?
I think that's the last generation of the kids that listen to Tejano
Yeah.
and
Is it
liked
the
it.
sound or is it the beat? Is
No,
it
it's
even,
the-
because
what
they're
you
still
grew up
dancing to
with.
polkas,
No, it's
right?
just what
It's what you
It's
grew
just
up
what you
with.
grew up with.
My
So you're saying
generation's
what do they
last
listen to? Conjunto?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying.
Well-
if they're listening to anything, it's going to be something something from Mexico.
Yeah.
If there,
Norteño.
but no more than likely it's
Norteño,
gonna. It's gonna
banda, all, yeah.
yeah, but more than likely it's gonna be hip hop or people from Mexico.
I mean, you feel like the charts reflect that too. I mean,
Well, here's the
Yeah.
deal.
okay. I'm gonna dig on that.
My daughter, she's 15, man, and she loves that stuff. And
I noticed these
I
kids
pushed
listen to cumbias.
yeah, man, and I pushed the Tejano like on her. I'm like, hey, you don't listen
Oh,
to
you
this,
old
and,
man, you.
and she's like, I
That's
don't really like
old.
that. Yeah,
That's what I do to my daughter. I listen to two of hers, and it's always like, oh my God, Harry Styles would be a god. And then I'm
that's-
going to bust out, like, some Keith Whitley,
Just
Merle
here's
Haggard.
well, just do a Backstreet Boys. Maybe see what she says about those.
It's,
Maybe she'll start liking them too.
Well, she'll understand where it all comes from.
Yeah.
In the 80s.
here's what I think. Here's what I think. Why Tejano?
Might die.
No. Here's what I think. Why Tejano is in the situation it is. There's still the sound from 93 to maybe 5 or 6 or 7. The sound is almost identical.
Okay.
There's nobody out there that's crossing the lines and we've got to change something up.
Is that a
Sure,
I'll
no,
say this about the Mexican music,
it's
I
the-
listen to it. I listen to a lot of radio.
Right.
And between the contemporary Christian people, and I don't know where they're doing that, maybe Nashville, and the international, what I call international, there's nobody doing it better as far as recording.
Yeah, but that's
And that's what makes a
international.
good radio song
That's Nashville.
sonically.
No, that's international.
Oh,
he's saying.
international.
Oh, yeah, man, like these, I couldn't name the names.
But as far as Tejano, here's the deal. I mean, I understand everything's got to be in a 2/4 beat because that's just the corrida style.
Doing that big sound, too.
They have to, but there's nobody. There are no outliers saying, dude, we got to. Here's the deal. What's that saying goes? A definition of insanity.
Doing the same thing over and over.
That's
expecting
exactly
different
right.
results.
The formula, we know the formula. It's
Yes,
the
I've sat in
same.
meetings.
It's the same thing. Listen, we got to.
Nobody wants to change from the formula because it's
Well,
classic.
No,
It's
listen. Well,
plugged in.
no, that's not what I'm saying at all. Some people are thinking, yes, well, you guys. Here's the deal. There are no great ideas. They're trying to figure out how to fix their own image or whatever. There's no musical ideas.
There's no new.
Listen,
joke.
listen.
no-
That's why rock. You can listen to rock. Tell each era of rock.
Yep.
That's the 50s, 60s, 70s,
Yeah.
80s, 90s.
Country, too.
Country too.
Absolutely.
Tejano, you can.
I can barely
But
tell.
not
country.
jazz, not Tejano.
And Tejano, the Little Joe sound, the Ruben Ramos had the big horns.
Yeah.
You can tell the Moz sound in the 80s and 90s. The Jay Pettis stuff, of course, he came in the 90s. But what I'm saying, everybody else is just the same thing. They got the keyboards, and then what they do, they'll have a keyboard be a little bit jazzy with more kicks. But it's the same thing. You got to change up
Yeah,
something.
they started
Rinse and
maybe
repeat.
taking the 1 chord into a major 7 and the 6 chord into a major.
I mean, I'm not a hater, but I just don't know. I just don't know how you would fix it.
Yeah. A couple of things. Let me say something. Shout out to Sotero because he
So-
plays for Jay Pettis.
for
He's
sure.
the keyboard player for Sotero. I mean,
My boy,
for Jay
Sotero.
Pettis, yeah. So shout out to him. He's gonna have a chance here soon, hopefully, to bring because usually the keyboard player is the one that.
Oh, he's in the
produces
studio
for-
right now.
Produces for Jay, so hopefully, he'll get a chance to bring some of his ideas out there.
Nice.
And then the other thing I did want to say is our singer, he's 22 years old.
Wow.
The Conjunto Cats, their accordion player, he's really good. He's their front person. He's, I think, 19, 20. He's young. There's a whole bunch of young singers right now.
That's awesome,
and
brother.
young players, and maybe
need those.
maybe they're gonna have new ideas.
Hopefully so.
You know.
because here's the deal that's lacking is a new audience.
Yes.
That's what's lacking. You see people my age there. And we just talked about our ass breaking down a while ago.
Yeah.
So what, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You
And
gotta
I'm not
bring-
gonna lie. I've been to some dances, man, and by 11 o'clock, man, they already start heading home.
And if we leave now, Waterbreak won't be that packed.
You mean you're
I
talking
know.
about the younger people? Or
No,
just
no,
The
the
older
older
people.
people.
O sea,
Older
de que
people.
some of these bands, they pull in a little bit of an older, and we see it. I see them. The older crowd, and they want to go home earlier.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
But here's the deal. But here's the deal, though. The reason why I say this about Tejano is because I'm not hating. Here's the deal. I'm saying that because I love it.
You can only talk like this for something you love.
That's it. Same thing with country music. I cannot listen to it at all. You know why? because I love country music.
You like country music.
I like country
You
music.
like roots.
Yes, I love country music.
Yeah.
That's
you like
why.
something a little closer. To
That's
the
why
roots.
now I know I'm an older guy. There's like he said, well, you're older now. It's just the older generation. Yeah, I
Today's
get that.
51 is yesterday's 51.
I get, yeah, I get that. But if we're talking about country, though, country, that isn't country. There's a handful of
Country-
guys out there, but what I'm saying, like country in general, it's not what I'm
was
saying.
the-
More
what was the high-
authentic.
What was the highlight? 90s?
Yeah,
90s.
90s was.
90s.
That was the golden era for
That was the
country,
golden era.
For country,
for
yeah, that was
country
the
and
end of it.
Tejano,
Yeah.
and Tejano,
Yeah.
both of them.
And you know what's funny though? I'll say this: when a guy, let's take Ray Price. You know, he dominated for a while, and it was that weird style of, you know, the walking bass. Of course, country initially didn't have electric bass. That was crazy. But country's always been the genre like pop that adopts. You know, I mean, golly, man.
Even Buck
Price
Owens
was
is a
putting
rockabilly.
xylophone in his songs on country radio, and then the Oak Ridge Boys. 3 years after I heard Van Halen, I heard an 8-bar solo on one of their songs. The guys doing finger tapping. You know, if you're a guitarist, you know what I'm, or if you know that, you know.
For sure.
And it just goes on and on how these genres borrow from each other. But jazz stays jazz, Tejano stays Tejano, and their roots forms. But you know, every once in a while, some guy like Coltrane comes along, but there hasn't been anything like that since 1960 something.
That's true that.
Yeah.
And the cats.
Same thing like rock and roll. Cobain, nobody's done anything different since 1993.
Well,
Yeah,
I want to
I-
say this. Go ahead.
If y'all get a chance, listen to a guy named Miguel Hernandez.
Ignales?
Miguel Hernandez. He does some.
I think I went to church with the
crazy-
Miguel Hernandez one time. But anyway,
Well, I think what's
Well,
going to happen is I think they're going to start mixing these DAWs
Uh-huh.
with the Tejano because what's that girl from New York, Maggie Rogers? She's a guitar-oriented artist. Pharrell discovered her, but during the COVID deal, you couldn't play, so she got on these DAWs. And let me tell you, people,
When you-
you can do anything with a DAW.
When
You
you're,
can do a
when you're
movie.
locked up, you gotta do something.
Yeah, man.
the Miguel Hernandez guy, you know what? I did see that guy. He's a great musician, great guitar player. Does he sing too?
He sings too.
Where's he from?
He's from San Antonio.
San Antonio?
He's from Michigan, but he lives in San Antonio.
Okay.
And
I
he
need-
does off the wall like some crazy stuff.
I need to get that guy in here one
You
day.
ever
I'm
get a
sorry
chance
about
to
that,
listen
brother.
to some of his stuff?
Is it some traditional stuff too, or what are you saying? It's,
No, it's very progressive. It's very he adds a lot of different stuff to it. You know.
Because you know, like let's talk theory. Like in the like the Moz, 2 keyboards. You could do one guy doing a bed and one guy doing harmonies. But up or whatever your harmony is. But you know, at some point, those synthesizers remain, like you said, you know, sort of almost polyphonic
Right.
and sort of simple, melodic, like the instrument was a roots instrument, right? With this stuff, you can go and get an arpeggio. You can decide whether you want an 8-bar or 16 or 8-beat.
The new
Crazy.
MIDI, the old MIDI that we grew up on the road, that was pretty advanced. The new MIDI now, the way we got with the tools,
I mean, they've been doing
it
sampling
is
since
ridiculous. Oh yeah, they've been making sampling and MIDI. I remember guys taking those racks, you know. At least I remember Mondo having those racks of all the stuff. Now it's all done
I
on.
went up to a piano or a keyboard and hit a note and went hello, blah, 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 and said something like, well, "What just how?" Or you know, when it did a ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-da, I was like, "What in the hell?"
But that's what's cool right now. Right now in technology, like here's the deal. I'm doing a girls album right now.
What kind?
I'm doing it's a rock album.
Okay.
I'm playing everything on it. I'm a horrible drummer, but I know drums. But Logic, I can make pretty much tell the drummer to do what I want it to do,
Right.
and it sounds so authentic.
Yeah.
And the dynamics control the dynamics.
It is authentic. It's actual drums.
True that.
It's recording of a drum.
And you
just
come in hard, in the intro, dropping down in the verse. Same thing. Just the things we've been doing on stage, you can control all that. Sounds. I mean, and it sounds so. I mean, I like it.
Hey, you remember what I said about like you know, there's a difference between real and authentic. You're like, you know, it doesn't have to be real drums. It's authentically drums.
True that.
You
I
know,
got
it's
you.
like
Yes,
it's
yes.
actually drums, and that's what. See, this is funny because I had a guy. He hired me to play on his. And by the way, shout out to Steve Rosas over there.
Oh, for
yeah.
sure.
That guy, he recorded
Another
on
OG.
the Sky
Yeah.
record.
Another
Like,
OG.
my guitar's never sounded better. You know, it's starting to because I know what I want exactly.
Yes,
He just
yes.
gets such a killer sound anyway. So I done some stuff with the guy. I was just trying to kind of mess with this kid. You know, He's a good kid, but I just kind of wanted to prove a point. He's like, I don't want those drums. I want real drums. I'm like, okay. So my drummer is a good drummer. He went over there and laid it out, and he laid out about 8 bars that we used, because the intro didn't need much.
Right.
I just edited it all in, piece by piece, just like I would all the other stuff.
Exactly.
And he was like looking at us like, I was just trying to prove the point that they were real drums. It's just that you already have pre-recorded, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I don't think it is. It's
for recording because it's production based. It's not all performance based.
There are so many things. There are so many drums right now that we're listening to that's on the radio that are big songs. The drums on there, they're either samples or they're triggers or a combination of two with real drums.
Almost on his third input. Yeah, you've been hearing fake drums forever. Not Tejano, maybe some of the toms. But
right now they are.
Remember the do-do-do-dos? Remember those?
The rotor toms?
Yeah.
Here's the deal.
They had little targets on them.
Right now is pretty kick-ass times.
Yeah.
Both in technology.
Oh yeah.
But not to mention, you really don't need a record label anymore like we used to. Sure, it's great to have one, but here's the deal. You got your own promoter on Instagram. The same Instagram that I would have is the same ones everyone else, the big folks have. The same Instagram. The same way you can promote stuff. You know how to promote. You have all the free marketing tools. Now the dollars right now, like I said, Logic. I was a Pro Tools guy forever.
It's good.
I hated to leave it. Once I figured out Logic is like, this levels to games as far as DAWs go.
Yeah.
Logic is a whole other level than Pro Tools. Trust me, levels upon levels above Pro Tools. Yeah. And so what I'm saying right now in music, modern times.
You mean in what it'll do or user friendly?
Of user friendly and what it'll do. Okay. The free tools that it gives you. Remember, because
you said you use Logic. You wrote Logic Pro, I guess.
Yeah, Logic Pro.
You guys ain't playing around.
And a real quick thing. It sounds, it sounds small, but it's big. To get to you run the vocals, you're going to run an auxiliary because you don't run your reverb on the strip. You want to run it through an auxiliary. You got to do all kinds of bells and whistles going through hoops. When in Logic, you go, and that's it.
Well, I think on Personas 1, you would
another great one.
It's going to say, like if you want, it's so easy to set up, a bus. You just click on the ones you want and then hit, you highlight the ones you want. And then click, it comes up on a menu, what you should do. And I mean, and the way I learned it was, the thing I learned is just read the damn manual. Just read the manual. Here's why. They're using a nomenclature. They're using a jargon you don't know yet.
True that.
And here's the thing, because you could say whatever you want to call it, a region or whatever that little red thing is over there where the audio waves are. I think it's a scene on mine. It's a region on Pro Tools.
Right.
Whatever. But the point is, like we were talking about earlier,
like the grid.
If you record, with the same bit rate and the same sample rate,
right?
It doesn't matter what you call your DAW. But the other thing is, I think tracking has to be 80% of the proficiency.
Yes.
Because it's a bullshit deal. Not for new people, but like for me to do one of my songs. I don't see why the editing would be more than 20% ever.
Let me ask you a question.
Level,
How are you tracking? How are you recording your guitar right now?
Interesting. I'm recording them with the plugins that I like.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to talk about.
I'm not using any amps, but here's why. Because I did 11 songs. I did maybe 13 songs in Fort Worth with a friend of mine, and haven't released them. And I think what I'm going to do is just go spend the rest of my time for the next year or so re-recording and releasing everything I've ever done. Because some of it got some traction, and there's people that get edified by some of my work. So,
do that.
I think maybe just the ones that are most requested, and kind of give people an idea of what I heard what I want to hear sonically. The same song, but.
Dude, you got to, man. Here's the deal.
It'll also promote my studio,
Yeah.
Yes, but
yeah, I record with the plug. I haven't used an amp in a long time now. I'm producing a guy that's. I'll just bust out and tell his name. His name is Jacob Augustine. But I'm wanting him to take a stage name. I call him Jags. Jags August. What's up, Jags?
I
But
got
he's really talented, man. You know that guy?
I
You met
don't,
that
I
guy,
don't.
Man? He's
No.
super talented. Super talented California boy. Vet from Fort Hood. He's tearing it up around here. Really, he's getting some traction because he's just busy. Works hard. He's a
Awesome,
cool
awesome.
guy.
His name
But
does
he
sound
does
familiar,
everything
though.
himself, and we're not going to put a lot of reverb and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, we only use 3 mics for the drums.
Well, that's all you need. Kick
It
snare
sounds
overhead, yes, or whatever. You can do it. You can do it a lot of ways, but
No, they're not stereo, but
yes, exactly. But no,
Well-
for sure. Go ahead.
Well, let me ask y'all. Let me get some advice from the. I do bass tracks here, and I've been trying to do them more so that I don't have to travel and go to studios.
For
so
sure.
I try to do them there, and
and you mean what? Email them?
yeah, and then I'll just send them through email. Send them a WAV file, and But anyways, so I'm right now. I just go straight into my my interface.
Right.
Yeah.
And I give them just a real clean sound, just a clean bass, nothing added, and they've been okay with it. They like it, then they can do whatever they want with it. But I have a pedal board that I love playing with, and then I have my amp and I have some mics, and I've been wanting to play with that and mic them and just try to get different sounds and see what other sounds I can get from when I'm playing it. Now, I don't know if some studios would like that.
Well,
You
let,
know.
let me tell you this. When I first built this studio, one of the things I couldn't wait to do is track guitars. I'm a guitar player. I'm a guitar player, right?
baby.
I love. I mean, I do. But it's once you start figuring out when you're doing it, it's not easy because the way it sounds right there is not going to sound the same coming out these speakers. It's communicating different to what your natural ear. What I've been doing here, I got me a Line 6 Podgo with the whole impulse responses.
With which response?
Impulse responses.
Okay. So it's like a touch sensitive thing.
No, impulse responses reads how your speakers are breathing.
Oh.
So they have them to where they sound like real simulated, like Marshalls, and you can go from Marshalls like the Marshalls with like greenbacks, Marshalls with vintage 30s. There's so many different combinations that you
That's
get.
on Logic?
No, this is on that board and that
Okay.
and that pedal board.
Hard.
But also Kemper's a great one too. They make that
Yeah,
too.
but they're expensive, man.
They are.
Dude, go get you an old Line 6 on Facebook for about $60.
Well, the one that I have is,
They're
one I have
They're
is
fine.
it's a pretty, it's a good one.
But you know what Kemper was good for was you could dial out with the man. I don't want to say this because I've done lots and lots of sessions,
Right.
Especially with Steve Pelusic, and I'd walk in and pretty much plug. He'd go, "Get your telly out," and I'd tune it up and play on. He would dial in my tone, what he wanted on the record.
Right.
Then we'd compromise, and yeah, that is your tone, But there's just this. That was he called it the kidney bean, that little red line.
Yeah, the
6
pod.
thing. But the pod, right?
That was a horrible one. That was a good shot.
Where would it be? It'd be within my range. Probably not 16, but like 12.
Yeah,
Somewhere in there, you can't dial it out, man. You can't get it out of it's like a ghost frequency. Did you ever experience that?
I
Maybe
owned
my
it.
ears.
No,
I never used that.
I owned
that
one,
pod.
but
I mean, it's really good. You get
Yeah,
really good sound.
but what I was saying-
the best
but-
sound I
go
ever
ahead.
got was running through a what do they call them? OCD pedal
oh yes,
into a Personas preamp. A nice one into
There you
the,
go.
plug-in.
That will
It
work
was a
too.
really nice, clean sound.
But what I was saying on that line 6 thing though, it eliminates mic because now it'll put to where a ballpark where you would want the mic done. So now I've been tracking guitars like crazy because I'm not going back and forth and messing with my tone. Because sometimes by the time you get your tone from mic and you're exhausted.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But now,
Especially if you're doing all
so
both mics.
yes. So to answer your question, all that stuff is fun, but get you a good preamp. That's what modern times are doing right now.
Yeah, it's not about mics.
And I'm telling you, you will get done quicker, but you'll be able to dial in your tone before it gets to the other guys. Not saying you should EQ in it, but you're still going in naturally through a simulated amp. But they sound so good now. 10 years ago, no, they've mastered that technology right now.
Is this a? I'm not. It's not a sidebar. Is this a dynamic mic? I know it's big.
It's a dynamic,
Okay,
yes.
That's a dynamic mic.
Also, yes.
That's a dynamic mic.
Correct. Yeah.
I don't care if I ever see another condenser mic in my life.
They're so
If I
sensitive.
could just get the preamp I want. I don't. What I want is like that manly Vox box.
Oh,
It's like
for sure. We all want that.
$5,900 for one plug-in, and there's not, I don't need it.
All I'm using
I just
condensers
want it.
for, and I rarely use I have a blue baby bottle I have on top, which I do like on all my drums, and that'll be a leftover one I have left over. But the SM 88s, the twin condensers.
Yeah.
That's ample, and then because everything is
overheads.
everything else is dynamic for me. Because I've got a small studio. If I had a big ass room, then you'd want a condenser to highlight the room.
Yeah.
But this is just home studio.
Yeah.
Dynamic's fine.
I
The way
think
to go.
dynamic's great. Now, mine's not. I mean, there's a lot of homes that are bigger than this, but I mean,
Right.
we're trying to do professional level audio. What the thing is I don't have the ears to mix, final mix, or master.
Gotcha.
But I'm a good tracker. I'm a good editor.
There you go, brother.
And I think that's 80% of what needs to be on a record. On
For
recording.
sure.
Yeah. It's just people go, hey man, how come you have to do all this stuff, and how come we don't sound right? Well, because of and this is, hey, if you don't know, I'll tell you, it's because the microphone picks up everything that the human ear doesn't pick up.
True that.
With what it picks up, and you have to edit all that crap out.
All
That's what we're doing, and it's hard to do. It's not easy. And I'm learning taking out will get you what you want more than putting in. You know, I've learned that. It's just like every other aspect of the music business. Less is more.
True that. Even on my drums, I'm editing all that crap out till the drums are being hit. No, the toms are being hit. Because my overheads are doing all the work.
Let me tell you what I did the other day. Okay, so Pyeatt came in and did a session for me, and I close mic'd it. Close mic'd everything and did the overheads. I just couldn't get what I wanted on the kick. I couldn't dial it. Well, PreSonus 1, you can MIDI it, right?
Right.
So, but rather than turn it into MIDI, I just went through and hit every hit.
I got you.
But manually, so that I could, because sometimes, even though it just won't quantize. It just won't quantize perfectly, but
That's what the stuff that y'all are doing.
Right.
Is what my next step that I want to get
You'll
into.
get there. It takes a lot.
Start getting into, recording and doing the technical. I've been around it. Watch other people do it. I never get into it because I know it's. You have to learn. And
I always see him like, this guy looks like he wants to be alone.
I would be in the studio. I would be when I was building my studio. I'd be behind the computer studying till about 3, 4 in the morning.
Oh yeah.
Just consuming everything.
How long do you think the learning curve is like? I don't know how Logic works, but for PreSonus 1, man, we just busted it. Well, first of all, I started on Mixcraft.
That's like
Mixcraft's
saying
really
though.
good, but it's not as good as PreSonus 1.
That's like saying, how long can I start being able to play like Eddie Van Halen?
Well.
Or maybe not that.
Because I just want to make an ass of myself. I don't care if I sound as good as
no,
Eddie Van Halen. I got 3 fingers. I'm up there acting
Take
a
it that
fool
way.
anyway.
I don't mean that. I mean, put it this way. Let's back it down a little bit. It's like, when can I start being able to learn how to play guitar?
Well, when can I run a session was kind of my main thing.
I hear you, but
when can I, which is a lot quicker than all that MIDI stuff. That MIDI stuff is a long time.
Oh yes,
but
sure.
to run a session, it's really not hard. I mean, it's like, I think to actually run the session, it really wouldn't take you but about 2 or 3 days of doing it and screwing it up because you're not going to record anything that you're keeping right now anyway.
And back up everything.
And back up everything if you are going to keep it because
and back up your backup.
Back up your backup's backup. I went to work one day. I went in there one day and I was going to go at it and it was green screened. Like everything was gone.
Wow.
It was like somebody took a 900-pound magnet and went pow. Nothing.
Oh my God.
Nothing.
Well, that's
Just some words going across there.
I'm gonna share a story. Art Guillermo, you know him,
Oh
right?
yes.
So they recorded an album for Tortilla Factory back in 2010. They hired Stanley Revillas, the awesome bass player. He did, and it sounded amazing what they did. But then his computer crashed.
Oh no!
Right, and he lost the bass
He never
tracks.
backed anything.
He lost the guitar tracks, and I'm hopefully I'm not getting this wrong, but I think they asked him to re-record it, and I think they just didn't have money to pay him, and so
He should have had the hard drive though.
his hard drive crashed,
Oh.
and he couldn't get that information. He said that he tried to, and that they could probably get it, but that it would be all you know.
just a cluster man.
Yeah, and so anyways, he asked me if I would do it. There'd be no budget, but I told him, of course, man. I'd love to, man. So it was only going to be 4 songs, but by the end of it all, I did 13 out of the 16 songs on it, and that album got nominated for 2 Grammys.
Oh, that's
Nice.
awesome, brother.
So you know that whole crashing thing and me, you know, being able to get in there was just a big old
Worked out like when the Beatles, you know.
Oh man.
When they said the Beatles got ready to come to America, and they were like, "Okay, where's the master for Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts?"
Right.
They were
Wow.
like, back to the studio. And they did it on 8-track because they were in a hurry.
Is that right?
Wow.
Yeah, that's what they say. I mean, that's an 8-track recording,
Wow.
man.
Hey,
But I'm not to equate the recording with that. I'm just saying, you know, it's one of those
Yeah.
one of those moments where it worked out better.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
we were talking earlier, and we all know, but the folks out there don't know. We were just talking about earlier. You're the white kid, supposedly, and the Selena, all the Selena stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Can you tell?
So,
The quaff, yeah.
how old were you when you got that gig?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember kind of when I maybe like by the time I actually went over there and took it serious, maybe 8th grade.
You were living in
Lake Jackson.
Lake Jackson, okay.
I'm playing
Yeah.
there Saturday. Lake
Huh?
Jackson.
Where
I'm
was
playing- I'm playing there this Saturday.
Oh,
Lake
where?
Jackson. The lounge.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, take a gun. No, I'm just kidding. I've never been there. I've only been to Lake
been there
Jackson
already.
once.
Y'all
but
said, oh,
last-
hell.
I've been
I
there
only go to
already,
Lake
but-
Jackson's for weddings, funerals, and bar mitzvahs. And
Okay.
Baptist. No, just but where were we? So you know, AB came to me in the 7th grade. I'm just gonna tell it like it is. All right.
Right.
I'm not even drinking. I'm drinking Cokes. He came to me in 7th grade history class because in Texas you have to have Texas history or you can't graduate, right? So he comes to me and says, "Hey man, I've got this little sister that sings, and my other sister plays drums, and my dad plays guitar, and I play bass." And I thought always thought he was a cool kid.
Right.
Always thought he was a cool acting kid. Thought he was a cool looking kid. We, you know, kind of just in passing, "Hey buddy, what's up?"
Right.
Well, obviously he knew I played guitar because he's like, "Hey man, you know, I'd won a talent show, local talent show."
Okay.
That year, that fall, I'd won the Brazoria County Talent Show with my friend Peter Millington, and at that time, it was the largest talent show for a county fair in the state. So,
Oh, wow,
you know, it was
brother.
kind of cool for me to be able to say that. You
For
know.
sure.
Anyway, he knew about that, I think, and of course, I was in choir and all that. So he comes to me and goes, "Yeah." I go, "What do y'all play?" You know, because I'm thinking I want to play country or rock.
Right.
And your dad, he's like 37. My God, that's ancient.
Oh, for sure.
You know, your dad's fucking 37. Are you kidding me? Dude, he can still stand up, you know.
Right.
How's he hold the guitar? He's so old, you know. That's how I thought, you know. And so I go. Finally, he talked me into it. I know what it was. I thought that he was Filipino.
Okay.
And I was like, he kept saying music from the old country. I was like, bullshit. I'm not playing some Filipino. I went, I don't know what that is, man.
Right.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what Filipino music is, but I went over there and I went, oh, these are Mexican people. I only knew it first because, like, I walked in and Marcella was cooking, you know, and I was like, that's Mexican food.
Right.
That's not
Yes.
that's not Vietnamese, man. That's not. I don't know what.
Every time someone says old country, it's like, well, sure you're not from Italia? You know that Italy over there?
So I messed around with that until I was about 21, almost 22, somewhere in there. So what is that?
What were your thoughts when you heard the music whenever y'all started jamming?
Well, the first time I walked in, you know, Abraham was like, "Okay, play something," and we played. And of course, I was already getting calls like
Right.
for gigs, you know, because I knew the one thing you just don't play whatever the hell you want to play, just don't fill over the vocals. I knew that, and I knew a bunch of country riffs and some rock. You know, I'd been playing for at that point. See, if I was in 8th grade, I was what, 19, something like that. I was in special ed.
He's the best guy on the football team.
Yeah, I was still eligible though.
You always wear a
I
helmet
felt
every
so
day.
many years that I. Yeah, no. So no, but
7th grade?
well, he started. He goes, "Do you harmonize?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "The high part or low part?" I go, well, I prefer the high part. It's easier to do. I'm a tenor, you know, and
Right.
it's easier. I sing bass in school though, so I can hear that. You know all these. He goes, "Let's do O'Donna." He goes, "I'll do the low part," because when he was with the Dinos, when Abraham was with the
Right,
Dinos,
right.
you know, as the leader of the band, that was his part. You know,
Got-
He
oh,
wasn't
okay,
the
got
leader.
you.
He wasn't the lead singer. He was the leader of the band.
Right.
So he has great stories. Anyway, you know, it's one of those deals where he goes, "Sing the part," and I did.
What was
Well,
his ear like? Abraham.
Oh, he's an incredible musician.
Really?
Well, how the hell do you think Selena and Amy?
I knew, but
he's a badass.
But here's the deal. I mean, a lot of times.
No,
it's
no,
like,
I'm not saying that he's a virtuoso and can manhandle any instrument.
Right.
I'm saying he's a badass. You know,
Got
he's got that musical ear, dude. He was arranging those vocals and the horns, or at the very least knew which horn players could arrange horns.
Got you.
Because they were tough, man. You know, go back and listen to some of those old records.
Wow.
Like, you know, horns, and that's what I dig about the Tejano things.
What did you think whenever you saw that kid portraying you in that TV
I thought
series
that
on
ugly.
Netflix?
No, I'm just kidding. Now listen, my other friend does a podcast, and it's a smaller thing than yours. He's not quite as known as you or what have you, but he's doing a podcast out of downtown Dallas.
Okay.
And he contacted the guy's agent about getting on our podcast. And they were like, hell no. You mean to tell me that the guy that played Rodney Pyeatt doesn't want to meet and talk to Rodney Pyeatt? What the hell's wrong
That's
with him?
crazy.
I know. Well, it
That's
could have probably busted his career wide open.
Well, you know what? Here's the deal.
Dumbass.
Let me tell you, as a Hispanic, that was a lame series. That's right. You heard it from me.
Was it really?
It was, it was
I
horrendous.
loved it.
It
I
was.
watched it twice.
Here's the deal. Let me tell you why.
My favorite part about the movie, listen, I couldn't bring
No, not
myself
the
to
movie.
watch the movie.
The movie
for a
was
couple
the movie
of
was
times.
great. The series.
It was great, but I, you know, as far as Hollywood, but I couldn't bring myself to emotionally get there. I couldn't go there. And one night my wife goes, "You want to go get some movies?" You know, back when everything was still on tape, right?
Right.
I go, "Yeah, go get some movies. I'll go down to Hollywood Videos, get us a 6-pack and some movies, and make some popcorn." We're watching the movie, and they get to the part where, what do you think she would say if she's fallen in love with a guy that's a guitar slinger? Pretty damn good. She goes, "You're the best guitar player we've ever had in this band." And my wife, we were laying on the floor watching. She lost her shit. She lost her shit, man. Oh, I was like, settle down. And she's a very calm person for the most part. But she lost it. She's like, oh. I was like, whatever.
Well, here
And
this.
I was like, well, one day maybe we'll get to cut heads. It'll be fun. It won't be about who wins.
Yeah.
It'll be about who has the most fun.
Well, this is true. I was watching the series. They put your name on there, you know, and I'm like, I called Isaac right away.
Oh,
Isaac,
that's right.
did Rodney play with Selena? It says it here. Yeah, he played. And I was like, oh my! I told my wife, I said, I know. Well, not that guy, but I know the real guy. I know him. I played with him.
But then, you know, Abraham knew that I did that with him a couple of years. You got to understand, I was playing. And then, you know, then I turned 15, I'm driving, I'm playing the bars on Surfside, you know.
Right. I got
Like,
you.
you know,
Right,
Thursday,
right.
Friday,
Yes,
Saturday, Sunday,
yes.
my parents are like, just be at school on time, and if you wreck our car, just go to Mexico, don't ever come home. I mean,
Right.
I don't know what to tell you. But my dad was crazy enough to let me borrow the family car to go to the beach all day, like from 4 o'clock to like 10, 11 o'clock at night, you know, and then like on,
Wow,
when I was
that's
playing the
pretty-
Lamplighter Ballroom, I didn't have to, we didn't get our last set done till 1:30.
Oh,
I
wow.
do that 5 nights a week, man. I was playing Dillon's in Angleton. I was playing Smith's. I was playing all these places, and then they weren't playing as much because, understand, this is a very religious family. This is a Jehovah's Witness family,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
Right.
So they're pretty strict about things and pretty regulated and pretty organized. So when they would do things when she was early, sometimes they would say things like, "Man, we can't do the Michael Jackson song because it's people, you know, brothers and sisters." I'm like, well, I think Michael Jackson's awesome. I saw him in the Astrodome. Let's do some Michael Jackson, man. No, it's not the right crowd. Okay, cool. And then one time, I think, you know, she was pretty young, and we went to the local, the little hoity-toity, bougie, how do you say it, bougie
Right.
country club. And, you know, we did our first set. It was pretty good. They were dancing a little bit, and then the manager came and gave us a check. He goes, "You don't have to do the last 2 sets. They just kind of want a more mature band."
No, that's
Because,
what
I mean, we're doing somewhere over. She can't sing, you know, "But you're sweet." You know, she's 9.
She-
or
yes,
whatever.
that's the
Doesn't have
deal.
that
I mean, it
Yeah.
was what it was. I mean,
And then
that
the
was just,
restaurant thing was just crazy because we played every night, and there was never anybody there. You know, the food was good. I ate there every day after football practice. It was
Of
great.
course.
So,
But no, I think that whole thing, you know, then when it made its way into history for Anglo people, because I try to tell people, I'll tell you how people don't listen. They don't connect things because they don't have to. They don't. It's not supposed to be that way. But the day she died, I kind of figured it out because I walked in and saw, for some reason, my TV was on one of the Spanish channels. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, that the
I-
world.
She
Nothing
was
about
all
this
the
looks
Spanish.
good at
yeah.
all.
The
They
world
don't
with the
put
Hall of
somebody's
Fame.
damn picture up there for 30 minutes.
I
world-
remember the day she died because my mom's aunt was crying, and
You were crying.
no. Your niece, Selena.
Right.
So she came in and she's crying and says, "Oh my God, Selena died." Well, we thought it was
My niece.
Your niece.
Oh shit.
Right.
Now we have a cousin named Yolanda too.
Oh shit.
You thought our cousin Yolanda
Yolanda
killed my
shot
niece?
Selena.
Yeah. So
That would have been wild.
So we're all saying like, we're crying. It's like, oh my God, where she died? Corpus Christi. First thing popped in our head was, what the hell Selena Martinez doing in Corpus Christi? And who shot her? Yolanda. What the hell Yolanda we're doing in Corpus Christi shooting her? Until we actually had to watch it. Said, oh, okay. And it never registered until a
My
couple
phone
days later.
started ringing, and people, like the Anglo people, were like, "Was that your wife?" I'm like, "No, I was married to the keyboard player." All right, so, I know you haven't been listening to me. I just think that people, wanted to reach out and make sure I was okay or whatever. But, by then, I mean, it was a shock to me, and just like the whole rest of the world, if you knew what was going on in their lives, I was real upset. The next day I got up, I had to go downtown real early. Musicians don't typically do that, but
That would be the equivalent to like somebody, whoever the biggest name is. I'm not even in touch. Whoever the biggest name is right now in music.
Snoop Dogg.
No, I meant somebody that's relevant right now.
Oh, right.
what's that guy from Ireland
like
that sold 100 million?
Yeah, it's just and
Singles the other day.
just died. She was at the height of her career.
Oh, yeah.
Fixing to do the crossover. I mean, that was huge. Lewis,
Yeah, that's exactly right. Some of the music was already recorded.
exactly. Lewis, you
And let me
awake
just say
back
this,
there?
from the day
I'm still
that
here.
I got in the band.
What's that?
Because when I was in the band, it was at first it was hitting. It was like I played a lot and they played some, and then Selena got a little older. Avy and Susie are a lot better musicians all of a sudden. They're going into
Right.
And then we started getting serious, and then there started being some it was harder for me to do both. But at the end of the day,
See, you did see progression.
Abraham's attitude was always, "We're gonna go international." Oh, you want to do international? Okay. He goes, "No, I mean we're gonna be the Mexican Tejano band that goes international." And I go, "Cool." He goes, "Anglo." Oh, I mean the first time I recorded with him. We recorded Anne Murray's song, "I Cried a Tear," and did it in Spanish, and because my feels were more country.
Right.
They were over the Freddie, and those guys are like, "Man, you're playing that's like white people's music." And Abraham's like, "Yes, exactly." And that was
Wow.
in the 80s.
He already had a vision.
Hell yeah, he had a vision, man. He
Wow.
came out of the Dinos with a vision. He worked, I don't know how many decades with a vision. And
just
the kid finally got to the age where,
Just
He
like
could
Michael
hold a
Jackson's
crowd.
kids or Tiger Woods' dad, their parents, they were badasses, but they were better teachers.
Serena.
Hey, so I got a question for you. I'm a huge AB fan.
cool.
I love the way the guy plays. I love his feel. I love where he's at. I love his thinking. So watching him play, could you tell he already had
Oh, yeah,
that
yeah,
feel?
yeah. He knew the theory. And I think I might have been the one that taught him theory, but he knew it. He knew it on guitar.
Yeah.
But understand, too, by the time we got out of the band, there was this cat named Mike Dean that came around. And Mike, shout out, but you pissed me off, brother. What he did was he was the keyboard player. He's my age. He's a keyboard player, and he was already into sampling. But, I mean, this cat knew every chord that you could configure, right? And then one day I walked into the music store where I was working. He'd been away for a couple weeks. Well, he'd been holing up, woodshedding on guitar. He was going, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I love you, but I hate you, Well, that guy came. He played with Selena for a while, and then he became I think he has a pretty comfortable lifestyle in L.A. working with some of the bigger urban guys, some of the rap, and maybe even a lot of the rap guys, big rap guys.
That's
You could
pretty
look
cool.
at his
Yeah, man.
credentials,
That's
but then I'm sure he does a bunch of other electronic stuff. But he's a great musician. I mean, he's like well above the average musician
Wow.
that I've ever met. And I've you and I, we've all seen musicians all over the place, man.
You two guys are one of them. Both of you guys.
This guy.
Lewis,
Yes.
what you got in there, my friend?
Aaron Carter died.
That's what I hear, brother.
Yeah.
So from what I heard, he drowned in the bathtub. Am I right?
Overdose.
I think he.
No, he
well,
overdosed
no,
on
no.
But they
no.
also discovered that they found like compressed air cans around his
He
bathtub.
like the
so-
whipping thing, or like the stuff he sprayed in the. Yeah.
Yeah.
Singer? I thought it was his brother.
No, that's Nick Carter.
There's Nick Carter.
It was. Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't drugs. It was like those. Compressed air, like you said. And I mean, just like whippets. You ever hear people getting high over whippets? That
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew a girl that did that and died. They were doing Freon. There's about 20 of them in a
That's
hotel.
not a
They
whippet.
were
That's
doing
way
Freon
different.
In a big, trash bag. She was 14 years old. She just took a big whiff, and that's the last thing she remembers.
Oh.
wow, brother.
Damn.
It's to compress the air.
Yeah, I think.
Can you imagine people being that crazy? That
Did
was
you-
the 80s.
Did y'all ever keep up with his last days at all?
Who?
Aaron Carter's.
No.
No, well, I kept up with him this past few years on them podcasts, and you could tell he was, a troubled kid. You got to remember this kid was a gazillionaire as a little kid. He was a star. Remember that?
I'm trying to remember who Aaron Carter is. I'm sorry.
His brother was. What was his brother?
His brother's Nick
NSYNC?
Carter in
Yeah.
NSYNC.
And anyway, but he was just a pop singer and huge. He was absolutely huge. Of course, that doesn't last forever. And you got tons of money, and then you have problems with your family.
And then you
you
have
start
tons of
having problems with drugs, and it's just
It went
He
from-
aged out.
it was
it
what's
went
that?
from-
Poor people do all that crap too. That,
No, I
that's
know.
even harder.
True that.
But when you have the money, it's easier.
It's
for-
everywhere, man.
Yeah.
If you're famous, if you work for somebody famous,
Yeah, you could.
you have access to anything that you want to have access to because people offer it to you. They'd never, approach you at all if you weren't working for Jay or I don't know how it is for you, man. It got to the point to where I just finally had to just go back to the bus because I spent all my what happened to me, man. This is kind of off side, but you do the whole like your good shows where you play good because you have the shows where you suck and everybody's like, oh, I love you, and they're like, thank you.
right.
Office,
Right.
nobody- thank you. And then you have days where you're great and nobody really gives a shit. And then you have days where you're great and everybody tells you, and your endorphins are up.
The
For
ego-
a guy, especially a married guy, that's a dangerous 90 minutes. It's a dangerous 90 minutes. I suggest the band pack their crap, and get out of town.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I hear
it's
you.
not as fun.
Yeah.
What you got, Lewis?
The leader of Nezred passed away.
Oh man.
Yes, I heard that. Yes, that was the only song that I really knew from them. I remember when I was a teenager, there was these two girls that were twins. They rocked that album all the time. But I do remember just that one song. But you know what? That was a huge song. He had great vocals. That's sad. It
Yeah.
sucks.
That
I
and-
translated that song for Johnny Bustamante.
You know what?
In
I remember,
Spanish.
I remember
Sweet.
that. I remember when y'all
And it
did
was
that.
terrible.
What else you got, Lewis?
Our
Oh, I wouldn't
Guillermo,
have said that.
our Guillermo asked me, who translated this song?
Oh no.
Me? He was like, oh, it's terrible.
That's awesome.
It's good. It's
Where's
good.
that white liner, bro?
What's that? Yes, you want some, brother?
Well, I mean,
yes, get you some.
I don't have to drive for another.
Yes. Go ahead, Lewis. What you got?
And
Lewis?
also
Sunset
Jeff
Sun.
Cook of Alabama passed away.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what? I had dinner with him one time in Maryville, Indiana. He came in, and the steel player and I were talking. He goes, "I hear y'all talking 1625," and I was like, "Yeah." So he sat down. He was a really nice guy. It was just, I met Jeff Cook.
I remember seeing.
Wow, I'm freaking having lunch with Jeff Cook.
I remember seeing him at the Heart of Texas Coliseum. Alabama, and but at that time, I was.
Alabama.
Dude, you just have no idea what Alabama did when those guys came out. Dude, they were just, they were a country band that rock and rollers liked, and country
they were
people could not
afraid.
deny them.
They held back. They held back.
Oh, of course,
They held
dude.
back, I think. I mean, I don't mean they held back like. I think I don't
rocking.
think they held back because I saw them live. I opened up for them with Rick Vino one time in
Right.
Yorktown, Pennsylvania. Man, they were just on fire. It's a whole different. But see, there's 8 people on stage too.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. They always had, at least when I saw them, had Cook playing guitar, but he had another guy in the back playing guitar.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else you got, Lewis?
I think that's about it. Oh, Dolly Parton and Judas Priest got inducted into Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Well, that's kick ass, and you might as well have Dolly because you know what they have rap artists. You might as well have Dolly
And
too.
both, I believe, Rob Halford and Dolly kind of performed together.
That would be cool.
They did perform together.
They did.
What they sing? Did it say?
No.
I'm sure you can YouTube it. We'll
I
do
like how
have
you
to
said kinda.
But dude, I can see for sure. Congrats to Judas Priest, Rob Halford for.
Oh, and all of the past members of Judas Priest came to reunite on that stage.
KK Downing,
KK Downing came.
Wow.
Greg Tipton.
Everybody.
That's cool.
That is cool because I know they were kind of they left, well at least I think KK left first, but KK was.
I heard he got kicked out. Though.
Oh, did he? Probably did.
Yeah, just that name, he's
he was a rock star. He was a rock star,
He's a
dude.
guitar player, rock star.
I mean, dude, and remember seeing him with the flying V and the long blonde hair. I mean, that's a rock star. KK Downing. So
Yeah.
congrats to Judas Priest. But what are your thoughts on the whole Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Not having. Here's the deal. Let me break it down. They have rap artists, have Dolly Parton. That's cool. But why call it the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Because then there's Country Music Hall of Famers, there's Rap Hall of Famers. So not this Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Shouldn't it be strictly rock and roll? Am I wrong or what?
Whatever happened to the Popular Music Hall of Fame?
Was there ever one?
No.
That's what
No.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're considered a pop.
I'm bringing
Hall
up
of
a
Fame.
question that we need to address.
I know it. I mean, it's nothing. I'm not.
Well, I was gonna say,
I'm
yeah,
not-
Michael Jackson's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I wouldn't. I'm not hating, but I'm just saying if it's called Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, shouldn't it be strictly rock and roll? I'm not. I'm not hating, like I said, but it's
Are
called
there
Rock and
other
Roll Hall of
country
Fame.
stars in there?
Dolly Parton.
Yeah, but I mean, arguably,
others.
she's she had pop hits, but I mean,
Well,
Are there
I know
other
the
ones?
last Rock and Roll Hall of Fame they inducted a band called Kraftwerk. They're not known for rock and roll at all. They're like
Who?
Kraftwerk.
Kraftwerk is like an electronic group from the '70s that invented synths and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. That
I
brought
thought
it
that
to
was
the
a class you
mainstream.
took in high school. But
Well, Temptations on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
really,
Yeah.
well,
so if you're R&B or anything that's roots, that's not country, you go Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I guess like I said, I'm not hating,
Oh,
but if it's rock and roll, it should be called rock and roll. Any shows you guys got coming up? Anything?
What am I doing this weekend? I'm going to do a private party at Nos Bar in Hazel, Texas for my dear friend. Shout out to Laurie Richards, one of the prettiest girls I know.
What do y'all think about the about Waco right now? With all the
Starting to boom,
I know it.
starting to pop. Well, if you're a local guy.
Yeah, if you're a local guy, but
I mean, if you're a big guy, you still have to come in and draw the crowd, But there's a lot of places to play.
I
man.
wish we would have had that when I was younger. But right now, though, they're really in a lot of places for bands to play. That's the thing. If you're a singer-songwriter, and there's ample places to do, But if you're in a band,
And what's this new place next to VTEX?
oh, the Freight Bar, right? Is that
Is that
it?
right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think you're playing.
Heard that was
yeah.
pretty good, like a couple hundred seaters.
I haven't stopped there. I need to check that out. But like I said, I'm not even in the know too much here in Waco anymore.
I'll tell you what I miss, man. It's been years and years and years, and of course, been busy enough. I hadn't really thought about it too much. But back in the day, Tony Guidros had a jam session, and the thing is all the musicians knew all the radio songs plus a bunch of old stuff. And I was older than those guys. I was like 27. They were like 21. So
Right.
I knew a bunch of old country. So if someone came up and said, keys in the mailbox, I'd go, we're just going to do a 2551, and he's in. I'll call the numbers, And
Right.
and of course, Von Jones, Steve Fowler knew a lot of country music.
Oh yes.
Trent Kuklis
I do not remember him.
Oh, he played steel guitar for Stepping Stone.
Oh, really? Okay, I remember Stepping Stone.
That was our Sunday night jam. They did the Tuesday night and the Sunday night.
Did you ever do the Frontier? Remember we did Sundays at the Frontier? Remember that?
Did
you
they
ever do
what?
that? At the Frontier up there on I-35. Did you ever go to those jams?
Oh
over
man,
there?
I played there a lot.
Me
man.
too.
But I didn't play there with them. I played there. My band. Remember Stephen Cargill and Eric Rains and I had that band Against the Grain.
Dude, I don't, but I remember that combo.
And
though.
we were running around, and that guy Von Otto. I don't know if you know his story, but he's passed. But we took Les Moss had this band called Neon Texas, and they had this pretty cool trailer. But it wasn't his trailer, but they put the name on it. So when we went to Von Otto to get our picture painted over it, he said, "No, I trained the guy who did this, and I don't paint over people's art. But I will call him and see if I can get permission from him to modify it." Mm-hmm. So he modified it, and one of the things he just put our name on it. We wanted it to look like you brand it, and it was coming off the brand, and then the smoke was going to rise. But he did ghost flames. When he walked by the damn thing, the flames started rising. It was crazy.
wow.
He was on every magazine in the world
pretty cool.
a dozen
wow.
times. He was the best, what do they call it, airbrush?
Yes, yes.
Oh, he was so talented and humble and genuine and all that.
Well, I have an announcement.
What's that, brother?
I've never really played in Waco. I played a couple with Blue Houdini.
What?
Oh, yeah.
And I played with Sotero with Rewind, but never,
Right.
So, I'm gonna do a 3-piece.
Really? With who?
Yes, sir. Can't say right now.
Really?
But,
like often?
You know where?
We're gonna start looking, because
Cool.
like you said, there's places that are opening up,
There are, brother.
and I want to do something, a little bass heavy.
Yeah.
Awesome, brother.
And
Call Brad over there at the backyard, man.
Yeah.
That's a cool place.
Awesome, brother.
Yeah. I mean, there's that classy wine, I think, or classy glass, or something like that. Like
Yeah,
I've heard of different places.
On Washington.
Yeah.
Just drive,
man.
just walk downtown.
Yeah,
You can see
man.
all the live music.
Because,
kick-ass art right now.
I see the Mac, that they'll do those shows, and they'll have awards, and nobody knows me really here in town.
Right.
A couple
I
of friends, I have my friends like you, Sammy,
Yeah.
but I don't perform here, so I want to start playing here in my hometown.
I know. I was like,
Awesome.
dude, when I
Yeah.
first started playing. Well, like I started playing with Guilty Pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I started playing here, playing here in Waco. And I remember I showed up and I saw John Maxwell play. Of course, a good friend of mine sings with Los Roaches. He goes, "Where you been?" It's like, he goes, "You just I started playing he goes, because he hadn't seen me forever. He goes, I've been here in Waco. Because I never see you play. Is you still playing?" He goes, "Yeah, I just don't play in Waco." And
That's
what
my
it
thing.
was.
People go, "What do you do for a living?" I'm like, "I'm a musician. Where do you play? Where can I come see you?"
I'm playing.
Now it's not like that anymore. And I might add that I'm kind of thinking in terms of maybe just thinking Fort Worth to San Antonio only. Like, that's 1 billion people, dude.
Oh, for sure.
It's not, I'm not just. No one's looking for a star my age. The people are looking for good songs.
But there's a deal right
They're
now.
looking for a good
Right
time,
now,
and they enjoy what we're doing.
right now, the music business is wide open.
It's so open, man. Especially virtually.
With YouTube and Spotify spitting out just
What do you
different
think
kinds of
Meta's
music.
gonna do to music?
I don't know, but there's one. Did you get that one? Louis?
Yeah,
I
where
sent you
Ozzy
that one.
Osbourne's going to perform in the metaverse, which I honestly don't think it's a good idea.
You think they have voice correction in the metaverse? You think they have
you
Melodyne?
bet.
I think it might be pretty cool. I mean, I'm
He's
not.
a
Here's the
badass
deal.
too, though.
I'm not gonna go to an Ozzy concert right now. It's just not because whatever. It's because it's just too many people. I went to go see Five Finger Death Punch the other day, but I was at the very back. I like to chill by myself.
Where was it?
It was in Houston at some outside thing. But the Ozzy thing, I might check it out because I tell you what's going on right now. And like I said, everybody knows I'm a big fight fan, so they're gonna have to deal with UFC. It's gonna be like in metaverse, meaning I don't know how they're gonna do it, but they're gonna be it to where you're in the octagon. Now I'd love to. I'd pay to check out a fight like that, in there. I mean, it's pretty wild. I don't know how they're gonna do it. I have no idea how they're gonna do it.
I
But
already feel like I'm in the octagon now, and the guy like hits him, and his lip goes.
any shout outs,
I feel pretty
fellas?
close.
Any shout outs, fellas?
Oh, speaking of Octagon, Dirty Dez had a fight a few weeks ago.
Yeah, she won the belt. I've been trying to get her to come on
and
here.
she beat her opponent in 18 seconds.
I
First
saw
round.
that. Shout out
First
to
round.
shout out to Dirty Dez. Yeah, I've been doing the.
That's almost as long as I would last with, Tyson.
we,
Because I might be a faster runner. You never know.
we've been doing those fight nights here at the Shack too. I just really started doing those too, and we talked about that. And basically, we're just watching the fights with fighters here. We're just talking about their fights and watching other guys beat the hell out of each other. It's fun. I love doing it. But any shout outs, fellas, before we call it a day?
Man, I just shout out to the good Lord for another day, man.
Yes, brother.
Excited to be able to play still, and
For sure.
just real happy about everything, really.
I pray for those blessings now that I'm older so much. It's like I'm a guitar player. What's up?
Astros.
Oh, yes, Gabriel, I
Oh.
forgot. You know what? Yeah, real quick, Gabriel's selling Astros shirts. I wish you could have a picture. I wish you had a picture when you
Yeah, I
didn't
wish I
bring
could
it.
get a picture.
But it says,
It
what's it say?
Make America mad again.
That is a great one. I like that, brother. Well, dude, yes.
And I'm
have
doing
you been
orange
selling
and
them?
blue. Yes, I have some orders from Houston.
Really?
Yes, a woman actually hit me up.
Mama.
She was at the game. She saw it on Instagram, and boom, right there. How much?
Kick ass. Holler at my boy Gabriel for those T-shirts. I wish you would have brought a picture, brother.
I wish I would have made one.
Yeah, I brought one here. I know
Yeah.
it.
Oh yeah, hey, let me shout. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Let me shout out to my partners Rick Miller and Dave Butler over there at Studio 2220 and stuff.
Studio 2220. I dig it, brother. How about you, Memo?
Yeah, I got a lot of shout outs. Shout outs to Mike Gonzalez. He's Jimmy Gonzalez's son. He's the one that has the band Iconics that I play for. Shout out to him, to all the band members. Shout out to a good friend of mine from Waco. We were just in Steve Rosa's studio last week.
Yeah.
Abby Garcia.
Oh, yes.
And with Cruz, he's a great sound guy. Shout out to my church from Belmead, Maranatha Church.
Maranatha, yes.
Yes, sir. And then, shout out to all my friends, Olin, Johnny Aviles, all my little crew that I hang out with here in Waco.
And
Sammy Kalunga.
What did you
Love
say?
that man.
Yeah,
What
man.
did you say you're gonna be at? And
Friday we're gonna be in Katy, and Saturday we're gonna be in Lake Jackson.
okay, that's
Oh,
what's
hometown.
man. Oh man, I did not miss the highway. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
Man,
no,
man, you spend a lot of time on that highway together, Memo. Gosh,
We
dang.
have some stories, man. We have some
dang it,
stories.
boy.
We'd
That's
go
for another
far.
time. That's for another time.
We'd go
Yeah,
far
remember-
for 20,
remember-
30 bucks.
Remember
There's gas
that?
money in right there.
During that time, we did that one stint. We started off like we went to Chicago,
Yeah.
and then we went to.
We went to
We went to,
Chicago,
Milwaukee. I
to
forgot where-
Saginaw. I know we ended up in Saginaw.
But I remember we went to we played in Milwaukee,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, we
anyway,
did.
I went to go get me some beer. We had a place. I went to go get me some beer to take to the room. They quit selling beer at 9 o'clock in Milwaukee.
Oh, get
We
out.
stayed at somebody's
They make
house.
beer
We didn't
in
stay in rooms.
That's what they do. They make beer in Milwaukee, but them people act crazy since they quit selling it at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because they just act crazy
Always
over there.
that one guy.
There's not one. Well, it's almost like Boston. Boston has like the smartest school in the whole city, but you have none but idiots living there.
On that note, folks, be sure to check me out tomorrow. I'm doing Broke Down at the Shack with my boy Michael Saldana.
Oh, yeah.
He's talking about he's going to retire, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about his music. He's a singer-songwriter, one of my favorite singer-songwriters. And next week, I forget who I'm having on next week, but we'll focus on tomorrow. Michael Saldana.